like most Asian American parents, wanted me to get into a good high school so that I can get into a good college, so that I could eventually become a lawyer or a doctor or get a PhD. And I guess for me that never really sat well with me, just having the whole first 35 years of my life prescribed for me. And so I guess being an entrepreneur was kind of my way of rebelling against my parents. That eventually led me to Zappos. Zappos was founded in 1999. At the time, our vision was let's just sell a lot of shoes. Let's have the best selection of shoes online, and that's really what we focused on. The original business model for Zappos was, let's not carry any inventory. Instead, we'll do what was referred to as the dropship models, meaning that we would take orders from customers and then we would transmit those orders to the different vendors we were working with and who had their own warehouses, and then they would ship from their warehouse directly to the customer. On paper, it was a great idea. And then we realized over time that we couldn't really control the customer experience. So over the first few years, we started taking a hybrid approach where some of our shoes we would actually inventory ourselves, and then some we would still accept dropship orders. And we finally got to the point where about 75% of our orders were from inventory that we owned, and the other 25% of orders were the easy money, the dropship orders. Asking ourselves, what do we want Zappos to stand for in 10 years from now? Do we want Zappos to be about shoes, or do we want Zappos to be about something else? And we decided we really wanted Zappos to stand for the very best customer service and customer experience. So we flipped a switch and lost 25% of our revenue, which was, I'd say, probably both the easiest and hardest thing that we had to do in the history of Zappos, because at the time we weren't profitable, we couldn't raise funding. There was 9/11, the war, the recession, pretty much everything was working against us, but it was really one of those bet the company moves. We knew it was the right thing to do for the long term. And the great thing about doing that is, after we did it, we found our customers were a lot happier because we could consistently provide them great experiences. We started growing a lot more by word of mouth. It's also just had this kind of ripple effect on everything else we do, because employees know that story and know that we were willing to walk away from 25% of revenue. So in other smaller decisions, in the thousands and thousands of smaller decisions that our employees have to make every day, they know in the back of their mind that we're going to value our brand and the customer service part of it and the customer experience part of it above short-term profits. For us, it was really, we didn't use the term pivot, but it was really just deciding, what do we want Zappos to stand for and mean in the long term, 10 years from now. For us, it was the very best customer service. So then everything else kind of flows out of that naturally. We basically told our employees, let us know what you think is the right thing to do for the customer. Agents are basically empowered to do whatever they feel is the right thing to do for the customer. They don't need to get approval from a supervisor or manager. Basically, we're looking for people whose personal values match the Zappos values. Our belief is that everyone's a little weird somehow, so it's really just more of a fun way of saying that we really recognize and celebrate each person's individuality, and we want their true personalities to shine in the workplace, for them to be themselves. And when you tour our offices, you can definitely see a lot of self-expression throughout the office. With our focus on customer service and company culture, we're now at over $2 billion in gross merchandise sales. And so the number one driver of all that growth has been through repeat customers and word of mouth. And that's really our whole strategy, is take most of the money that we would have normally spent on paid advertising or paid marketing, instead invest it into customer service and the customer experience, and then let our customers do the marketing for us.
And last question, what do your parents think now?
My parents say that it's still not too late for me to become a doctor.
Thank you very much.